Hello guys, I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for tuning in to my channel. The perfect example of how mentally unstable Harry and Meghan haters are is Niall Gardner. The guy was saying that Harry and Meghan should leave if they didn't like the royal family, and now he's saying that Harry should get deported. The day Harry and Meghan left for the US should have been the end of the hate circus. Harry and Meghan have faced a wave of negativity unlike anything seen before. The scrutiny was not just from the media, but also from the public, who seemed to have an insatiable appetite for every detail of their lives. The British tabloids, fueled by a thirst for scandal, published story after story attacking their character and motives. These stories were often based on little more than rumours and innuendo, yet they were presented as fact. Meghan, in particular, became a target. Her background, her career, and even her family were all subjected to intense scrutiny and criticism. Her every move, every word was dissected and criticised, often with thinly veiled racism and sexism. The media's portrayal of Meghan was often starkly different from that of other members of the royal family. The attacks were relentless, cruel, and deeply personal. They were designed to undermine her confidence and question her place within the royal family. This constant barrage of negativity took a toll. It was not just the public attacks, but also the private struggles that weighed heavily on them. Harry and Meghan spoke openly about the impact on their mental health, the stress, and the fear. They revealed how the relentless scrutiny had affected their well-being and their relationship. They pleaded for understanding, for a reprieve from the relentless attacks. They asked for the same compassion and respect that any other couple would expect. But the negativity continued, fueled by a vocal minority determined to tear them down. Social media became a battleground, with trolls and critics using the platform to spread their vitriol. The vitriol directed at Harry and Meghan is not simply criticism. It is a concerted effort to undermine their credibility and their humanity. It is something far more insidious. It is a reflection of a society that is quick to judge and slow to understand. It is an obsessive and hateful campaign that speaks volumes about the critics themselves. It reveals their own insecurities and prejudices. It reveals a deep-seated prejudice and a resistance to change that is both unsettling and deeply concerning. The attacks on Meghan in particular highlight the intersection of race, gender, and class in the media's portrayal of her. This is not about celebrity gossip. This is about the systemic issues that allow such attacks to flourish. This is about the dark side of obsession, the dangers of unchecked negativity, and the urgent need for a more compassionate and understanding world. It is a call to action for all of us to reflect on our own behavior and to strive for a society that values empathy and respect over judgment and hatred. Among the most vocal critics of Harry and Meghan is Niall Gardner, a British commentator known for his inflammatory rhetoric. Gardner has made a name for himself by frequently appearing on television and in print, where he spares no effort in lambasting the couple. His critiques are often harsh, painting Harry and Meghan as emblematic of everything wrong with modern celebrity culture. He accuses them of being out of touch, self-serving, and hypocritical, particularly when it comes to their environmental activism. Gardner consistently accuses the couple of hypocrisy, particularly regarding their environmental activism. He points to their public statements on climate change and their participation in high-profile environmental events as evidence of their supposed virtue signaling. According to Gardner, their actions do not match their words, and he is quick to highlight any perceived inconsistencies. He condemns their use of private jets while advocating for climate action. Gardner argues that their choice of transportation undermines their credibility as environmental advocates. He often cites instances where Harry and Meghan have flown on private jets to attend events or go on vacation, suggesting that their carbon footprint is at odds with their public stance on reducing emissions. However, Gardner's own actions betray a stunning hypocrisy. While he is quick to call out Harry and Meghan, he seems to turn a blind eye to the actions of those he supports. This selective criticism raises questions about his true motivations and the consistency of his principles. He is a staunch supporter of former President Donald Trump, who withdrew the United States from the Paris Climate Agreement and consistently downplayed the urgency of climate change. Gardner's support for Trump is well documented, and he has often praised the former president's policies and leadership. This support is particularly striking given Trump's environmental record, which includes rolling back numerous regulations aimed at protecting the environment. Gardner's willingness to overlook the environmental record of someone he supports, while relentlessly criticizing Harry and Meghan, exposes the blatant double standard at play. This double standard is not just a minor inconsistency, it is a fundamental flaw in his argument. By holding Harry and Meghan to a different standard than he does Trump, Gardner undermines his own credibility as a commentator. This hypocrisy is not unique to Gardner. Many of Harry and Meghan's critics exhibit similar double standards. They are quick to pounce on any perceived misstep by the couple, while giving a pass to others who engage in far more egregious behavior. This selective outrage is a common tactic used to discredit and undermine public figures who challenge the status quo. It is emblematic of a broader trend among Harry and Meghan's detractors. These critics often use the couple as a convenient scapegoat for broader societal issues, projecting their own frustrations and biases onto them. The intense scrutiny and criticism they face are disproportionate to their actions, suggesting that there are deeper underlying motivations at play. They are held to an impossible standard, their every move scrutinized for inconsistencies, while their critics often escape similar scrutiny. This double standard is not just unfair, it is indicative of a broader societal issue where public figures are held to unrealistic expectations. The relentless focus on their perceived flaws distracts from the positive contributions they make and the genuine efforts they put into their causes. This selective outrage reveals the true nature of the criticism. It is not about accountability, but about tearing down two individuals who dare to challenge the status quo. Harry and Meghan's willingness to speak out on issues such as mental health, racial equality, and environmental sustainability threatens the established order, making them targets for those who feel threatened by change. The hypocrisy of critics like Gardner only strengthens the case for compassion and understanding towards Harry and Meghan. Their experiences highlight the need for a more empathetic and nuanced approach to public discourse. Instead of tearing them down, we should recognize the challenges they face and support their efforts to make a positive impact. It highlights the double standards they face and the deeply personal nature of the attacks against them. These attacks are not just about their actions, they are about who they are and what they represent. By standing up for their beliefs and challenging the status quo, Harry and Meghan have become symbols of a broader struggle for justice and equality. Their story is a reminder that true change often comes at a personal cost, and that those who dare to challenge the status quo will always face resistance. What is perhaps most striking about the hatred directed at Harry and Meghan is its sheer irrationality. Even after stepping down from their royal duties and relocating to California, the attacks continue unabated. They are accused of seeking publicity while simultaneously being condemned for wanting privacy. They are criticized for speaking out about their experiences while being told to remain silent. This irrationality speaks to a deeper issue at play. It suggests that the hatred is not rooted in any logical or reasoned argument, but in something far more emotional and primal. It is a visceral reaction to their very existence, a rejection of their challenge to the traditional power structures and expectations. This irrationality is dangerous. It creates a climate of fear and intolerance, where reasoned debate is replaced by blind hatred. It shuts down dialogue and prevents any possibility of understanding or reconciliation. The relentless negativity directed at Harry and Meghan is not just a private matter. It has become a public spectacle, drawing in millions of viewers and readers who consume this content daily. The media frenzy surrounding them is a reflection of a much deeper issue within our society. This relentless scrutiny and criticism have a corrosive effect on public discourse as a whole. When the media and public figures engage in such negative commentary, it sets a precedent for how we treat one another in our everyday interactions. The normalization of this behavior seeps into our social fabric, influencing how we communicate and engage with each other. The vitriol spewed online and in the tabloids normalizes hatred and intolerance. It creates an environment where people feel emboldened to express their most negative and harmful thoughts without fear of repercussions. This normalization of hate speech and intolerance can have far-reaching consequences, affecting not just the individuals targeted, but society as a whole. It creates a space where empathy and understanding are replaced by judgment and condemnation. In such an environment, people are less likely to listen to differing viewpoints or engage in meaningful dialogue. Instead, they retreat into echo chambers where their own beliefs are constantly reinforced, further polarizing public opinion. This toxic environment has real-world consequences. It affects how we interact with each other on a daily basis, from our personal relationships to our professional lives. The stress and anxiety caused by constant exposure to negative and hateful content can take a toll on our mental health, leading to increased rates of depression and anxiety. It emboldens those with hateful views and makes it more difficult to have open and honest conversations about important issues like race, gender, and mental health. When people see that hate speech and intolerance are tolerated, if not encouraged, they are more likely to express similar views themselves. This creates a vicious cycle where hate begets more hate, making it increasingly difficult to break free from this toxic environment. It creates a climate of fear and silence, where people are afraid to speak out for fear of being subjected to the same kind of abuse. This stifles free speech and open dialogue, which are essential for a healthy and functioning democracy. When people are afraid to express their opinions, it becomes difficult to address and solve the pressing issues facing our society. The attacks on Harry and Meghan are a symptom of a larger societal problem: the increasing polarization of our public discourse and the normalization of online hate. This polarization makes it difficult for people to find common ground and work together towards solutions. Instead, we become more divided, with each side becoming more entrenched in their own beliefs. Until we address this broader issue, the cycle of hatred and negativity will continue. We must take a stand against the normalization of hate speech and intolerance, and work towards creating a more empathetic and understanding society. Only then can we hope to break free from this toxic cycle and create a healthier and more inclusive public discourse.